Welcome back for another episode of WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. In the last episode, we left Diagon Alley with Ron in the flying car to go to Hogwarts.
Look, Harry! There's Hogwarts straight ahead! Uh-oh! Ah!
But as it turned out, it was actually a pretty bad idea to let a second grader drive.
Ron! Ron, where are you? Over here, Harry! The whomping Willow's got me! Don't worry, Ron. I'll come and get you. Just hold on. I can't do anything else. Hurry up, Harry!
There's really only one objective here, and that's to rescue Ron. But that's kind of a long process, as you're going to see. You don't want to run too quickly through here, because those roots are going to jump up and hit you. So just wait for them to stop waving around, and then that's your chance to jump past without getting hurt. And once you reach the base of the roots, the idea is to run this way past them. But the small ones are gonna hit you. You can knock them down with Flipendo, but they get up pretty quickly. And sometimes they take a few hits, and there's really no reward for going after them. So you just want to run away from them because they're mostly a pain more than anything else. The mushrooms here also give you a lot of items if you hit them. You can see we're getting a lot of beans. We got a pumpkin pastry even. Just run through this place, because whenever a vine pops up, you want to be out of the way as quickly as possible. And this is kind of backwards, because this one works differently. You have to get past when it's attacking. See, when it leans back like that to hit, that's your chance to get past. Puffapods are also new. They shoot those clouds of spores that hurt you, so just break them from a distance with Flipendo, and then sneak past, like so. Also, whatever you do, just hold onto the wall. Even if you get hit by this root, you won't necessarily fall unless you let go. And it's just so annoying to have to do this part over and over. So, just watch your step around here. There are a couple jumps that seem easy, but screwing up can be really costly, because you'll have to run through again, past all those roots. Once you pass that mushroom up ahead, though, you're in the clear, because you're pretty close to the exit now. You're in the exit area. Just jump down. There are a few Puffapods blocking the exit, so break them from a distance like before. Get past that route, and crawl into the new area of the woods. So it's a little bit darker here, but you don't want to use Lumos. Actually, Flipendo's a lot more useful at first, because you've got a lot of these small guys to deal with. While they're really not threatening, it's better to just finish them off quickly. All they can really do is just run at you or throw a rock. And there's a red scale telling you how many are left. And like you saw earlier, I hit a Puffapod by mistake, and that's what damaged me. I'm not really sure what these things are called. But once you get all of them defeated, one more will appear, and it's holding a Puffapod. I'm going to try and take it out with a Puffapod by picking him up and throwing at him. But it didn't work, so let's just use a Flipendo. So now you go into this new area, past the broken logs, and you'll find a treasure chest. But first it shows you a clip of a log falling down behind you. That'll be important soon. But right now just check the treasure, because inside is a cauldron cake. It's the weakest healing item, worse than the pumpkin pastry. Though chocolate frogs are the best. So that log that fell earlier actually helps you get up to these two cliffs. This one over here is an optional path that leads to a wizard card, and I'd recommend you take out Lumos now that the enemies are gone, because it's still really dark around here, and it really sucks to fall, because then you have to look all the way around and find your way back up, and this whole forest looks the same in this area. It's a lot of wasted time if you do that. Anyway, we're getting pretty close to having 10 wizard cards, so I'll be able to show you the upgrade I've been telling you about. Once again, just watch your step, because Harry is incredibly jump happy. Whenever he sees a cliff, he just has to jump. Like right there. And it can be really hard to see sometimes. That's the log from earlier. We could hardly see it right there without Lumos. Actually, if you can, I'd recommend, for some parts of this game, adjusting the brightness of your TV screen if you can. It'll just be really useful. So this is the other cliff. Destroying the Puffapods and coming over here is optional. It's just for the other wizard card. And with this, we should have 10. And watch the life bar closely. You'll see how much it will increase by. It'll be a black segment. Look, barely like a centimeter. So there is an upgrade, but it's kind of pathetic. Actually, it's like hardly worth mentioning now that I think about it. Yeah, see, just one little stumble takes away about 10 times of that upgrade just gave us. Anyway, up there you see another one of Hedwig's pedestals. Now this part's kind of weird. You'll call Hedwig, but there's actually not a treat for her. This might be the only part of the game where that really happens. But you do want to call her, for a reason I'll explain later. So just leave her alone. That notice right there is about an enemy you're going to fight in this area right here. If you haven't been using Lumos, this part will force you to, because you can't hurt these guys with Flipendo. You have to use Lumos to dissolve them. This is the only part you ever fight them. They're really... I've done better against these before, but right now I've lost like almost all my beans, and I'm taking a real beating, even though they hardly do any damage. It's kind of pathetic. Wow, we had like 25, and now we only have 2. Whatever. Just go to the hole in the next area. This place is full of those little, goblins from before, but you don't have to fight them even, because, believe it or not, there's no reward for doing so. And this is a really weird area right here, because the one thing you want to go for is the treasure chest here with the wizard's card. You might notice there was more ground over that way, but the fact is, that's a much harder jump to make, and the prize is way worse, too. It's another piece of cauldron cake to heal, like, that centimeter of life we got earlier. And there's Wiggenweld if you really plan on dying here, which you don't. So, there's really no need to stay in an area with no reward for fighting the enemies, so just leave and go to the next place.
What kept you, Harry? I can't hang around here all night, you know. Very funny, Ron. Now, how on earth am I going to release you? Is there some kind of weak spot on the tree you could cast a spell at? Whatever you're gonna do, I suggest you do it quickly!
So here he is, the Whomping Willow, first big boss of the game. He punches and sends those shockwaves out, so run away from them by staying at the back. Then when the palm shines, run and hit it with Flipendo. That'll open up the eye in the center. Hit that with Flipendo. Rinse, wash, repeat. That's the basic concept. Also because there's so many attacks, you basically want to stay at the back where they can't reach you. And because you called Hedwig earlier, she'll drop some pumpkin pastries for you. So that's pretty useful. Of course, they're not that easy to grab with all those attacks going on. Like, for instance, the car right there, he hits it on the ground 3 times in a row. And we just lost our pumpkin pastry. So, goes to show how annoying it can be to heal yourself here. So here's another chance to hit that hand. The angle is kind of weird. You have to be at a good angle to hit it. You have to get kind of close to hit the hand and then the eye. Okay, another pumpkin pastry. This time I'm not so sure we can afford to let it go, so let's grab it. Yeah, he's going to use one more attack here, and this one you won't be safe from even if you're in the back, because this is a boulder that just rolls past. You might have missed it there, so I'll use Lumos to help you see better. So back to normal. Wow, look. See, he doesn't even need to hit you directly. Those shockwaves are good enough, and you're not even really protected if you're in the back from them. So basically just run to the side to avoid them. I guess that's the best advice I can give you. Let's see if I can... Oh, I actually managed to target the hand this time. And that's done it.
Thanks, Harry. Much appreciated. Oh, it was nothing. Anyway, we better get a move on. We don't want Professor Snape catching us out so late. Why don't you try that door, Harry? The only thing I'm not looking forward to this term is seeing Snape. Let's just hope he's left because he missed out on the Defense Against the Dark Arts job again. Or he might have been sacked. I mean, everyone hates him.
Or maybe he's waiting to hear why you two didn't arrive on the Hogwarts Express.
Professor Snape, we
In
were...
my search of the grounds, I noticed that considerable damage seems to have been done to a very valuable Whomping Willow. I will be speaking with Professor McGonagall later.
That tree did more damage to us than we...
Silence! I would advise you both to make your way immediately to the Gryffindor Common Room.
But Professor Snape, we...
Go! And count yourselves lucky. If I should catch either of you out after tonight, I will
House points.
deduct
In the original, he threatens to expel them, but I guess it was too hardcore for an E-rated
I'll
game?
meet you outside the entrance hall.
This part's kind of ridiculous. So, look. It shows you the objective. Meet Ron in front of Hogwarts. Yet, you're right in front of Hogwarts and Ron is right there, so what's the point of telling you? And Snape just told you to go in there anyway. So I think that's a pretty convenient spot to save up there. So, next time, we're going to do as Snape says, make our way up to the Gryffindor common room, end of the day, and start classes the next day. So, see you next episode.